WHAS 11, weather first. Hey everybody, I'm Matt Rudkin in for Ben Pine and the rest of the WHAS 11 First Alert Storm team after a long day today. Luckily, things are much quieter this Friday evening going into Saturday. Looks really good downtown, and this looks outstanding, doesn't it? Max HD radar sweeping all clear. It was a day, to say the least. Record-breaking thunderstorms, record-breaking wind, record-breaking low pressure, a whole lot to talk to you about. But the big story here is zooming out. Not a whole lot of active warnings to talk about. We've got some wind advisories. We've got some flood warnings to chat about, and I'll have all the details coming up. Looking good if you've got storm damage to clean up tomorrow. This forecast is looking really good, and we've got to talk about a different pattern that looks to change as we get into mid-March. I've got a full forecast for you coming up here in just a few moments. The WHAS 11 night team starts right now.
The aftermath of today's devastating high winds. Right now on the WHAS 11 night team, the story of tonight: major power outages and dropping temperatures. Winds for the record books knock out power and cause damage across Metro Louisville and Kentuckiana.
It was crazy. It sounded like a bomb went off.
In Breckinridge County, Kentucky, a father rushes to help his kids after a tree falls right under their home. While in Old Louisville, a large tree blocks an entire street.
Actually watching a tree in the back, and it was swaying back and forth in the backyard.
The cleanup efforts, the power restoration, it'll be lasting into the weekend right now on the WHAS 11 night team. And we start the night team right here tonight with some brand new information from LG&E. The power outage for Metro Louisville tonight is being called significant by LG&E. And the utility tells me tonight it'll be an extended outage event with no restoration time frame being given to this point. The number is big and considered a major outage for our community. Hello everyone, I'm Doug Proffitt. In Louisville tonight at 8:30, the mayor declared a state of emergency to allow emergency services access to funding to help in the recovery. Elsewhere in Kentucky, at least 3 people died due to the storms, according to Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. All 3 deaths occurring in south central Kentucky. Now to those power outages. In Louisville, they are being reported in every corner of Jefferson County as we show you the live LG&E power outage map. Each dot you see is one massive area of power outages. In Jefferson County, nearly 78,000 LG&E customers are without power. In total, more than 200,000 customers are being impacted across all of LG&E and KU customers in their regions. Wind gusts of over 70 miles per hour pulled down trees into lines, complicating the restoration. Taking a wider look at the entire state, more than 500,000 customers are without power across the state of Kentucky. The entire state facing power outages. Many are concentrated in south central Kentucky tonight. Let's check in on southern Indiana. Thousands of residents are without power. 5,000 are without power in Clark County, Indiana, and over in Harrison County, Indiana, nearly 3,000 have lost their power. The most without power at the moment, Floyd County, Indiana, where just over 8,000 customers of Duke Energy have no power. The trees that came crashing down have damaged countless homes and cars. LG&E also telling us tonight that this is the 3rd most significant damaging event in the past 20 years. WHAS 1119's Bobby McSwine and photojournalist Ian Hardwick went to several locations tonight. They're joining us live from Old Louisville with more on that tree blocking the road. Bobby, what are you seeing?
Well, Doug, much like earlier, I still see this huge tree here on Oak and Brook blocking this entire road. The cords are tangled up in the branches, and LG&E tells us tonight there are about 1,400 downed wires across Jefferson County. There are 450 crews out in the community, and the utility tells us that more companies are coming from out of state to help Kentucky and Louisville. Now, it is much darker than it was before. We already saw several cars come up and have to turn around, not seeing this huge tree right here. So please, you have to be careful if you're out traveling in Old Louisville tonight.
The Lord loves me because we missed it by this tree. That's crazy. Missed it by an inch, honestly.
High winds brought down trees and power lines all across Kentuckiana, including here in Old Louisville at Oak and Brook Street. The power lines a tangled web within the tree branches. Cars getting turned around, not realizing realizing the entire road is blocked by a huge tree that nearly damaged multiple cars. But it didn't. Music to the ears of Ayla Espinoza.
Hey, we've been running since 2013, baby. We in it for the long haul.
For LG&E, it'll be a major restoration effort.
More than 450 employees and contract line technicians working across our service area, as well as many employees working behind the scenes to restore customers' power safely and as quickly as possible.
Espinoza says she was worried about the wind, but had no idea she would come outside to see this scene. And luckily, it looks much worse than it is. So she's
very grateful, because I was just talking about it yesterday. I still want, 2-3 more years out of her.
Southwest of here in the Jacobs neighborhood, several downed trees caused damage to homes. The roofs caved in. One large tree completely uprooted. Another snapped like a twig. Prime examples of just how strong the winds were.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes.
That's all I can say.
Belinda Quick's home was spared the worst of it, but she's glad that her neighbors were unharmed.
I'm just thankful everybody got out safe. I mean,
Ow.
the house can be fixed, Lives can.
And both women urge everyone to be safe and watch out for downed power lines.
Now, LG&E's focus has been on these 1,400 down power lines. They say that it may even grow larger. That means the restoration effort will be complicated. They urge you not to touch any of these down lines, even as the weather breaks and the sun comes out this weekend, because it can remain active for days. Now, tomorrow at 10:30, the mayor, emergency officials, and LG&E are going to hold a press conference and give you updates. And we'll give you updates on our air and online. But for now, live in Old Louisville, Bobby McFarland, the WHAS 1119 on your side.
Okay, Bobby, thank you very much. Now to Breckinridge County, Kentucky, about an hour west of Louisville. Several families are cleaning up damage there left behind after the storms moved through today. Take a look at this home in Irvington, Kentucky, where a large tree fell right onto it with families still inside. Andrew Colasanti told WHAS 11's Reed Yaden it sounded like a bomb went off, and he quickly went in to help his kids.
And they was right there in the hallway. I was right next to the bathroom, and I just heard the loudest boom you could hear. And I look up and I see the tree. So I grab my two kids and I throw them in their bedroom, and I just lay on top of them.
From the inside of the house, right here, you can see the extent of the damage, broken beams, insulation, and ceiling tiles throughout the living room. Fortunately, nobody was hurt in Irvington. In southern Indiana, rescue crews dealt with massive amounts of rain, causing flooding on parks and in the parks and on the roadways. Places like Hamburg Pike and Jeffersonville seeing floodwaters feet deep. WHAS 11's Connor Steffen and photojournalist Eliza McKenzie show us.
Here at the Jeffersonville YMCA, remnants of Friday morning's heavy downpour remain. It's become a sort of roadside spectacle. Jeffersonville first responders completed the rescue call Friday morning. We're told the driver is okay. As for the car, submerged in at least 3 feet of water. Crews will return to the scene and assess damage later. It was one of a few southern Indiana spots submerged Friday. In New Albany, crews had to close off Binford Park given the extent of flooding. The space used for hiking looked more like an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Nearby New Albany Golf Course saw similar damage, as did a few spots in Clarksville, according to town officials. They said fortunately crews did not have to respond to any calls for water rescue. Connor Steffen, the WHAS 1119 on your side.
All day, WHAS 11 viewers have been sending us photos capturing the storm in action. You can keep sending your photos even in the aftermath to 502-582-7290. A man is dead after a crash that happened in the Indian Hills neighborhood of East Louisville, not far from the Ohio River. Metro police say just before 8 o'clock tonight, they responded to the crash on Blankenbaker Lane near Brownsboro Road. The police say the man was driving towards Brownsboro Road when he lost control of the car, hitting a tree. He was taken to the hospital where he died. Police say they do not believe weather was a factor in this incident. Firefighters in eastern Jefferson County busy with a fire during our 6 o'clock news tonight in the Jeffersontown area. It happened at this car lot called Zad Cars. An historic home that's actually attached to the dealership is what caught fire here. It happened at Hurstbourne and Taylorsville Road. Jeffersontown Fire Chief Sean Driesbach says the cause of the fire under investigation, but the gusting wind, well, it helped fuel the fire.
But I can tell you that the weather has
help the fire when it actually to grow the fire and push the fire. So with this wind, it's very tough for us to try to get ahead of the fire and knock it down. But firefighters were able to do that today, even with the 60-mile-an-hour gust that we have.
It turned into a big one at one point. It took approximately 40 firefighters from Jeffersontown, Fern Creek, St. Matthews, and Anchorage, Middletown to bring that fire under control. Other news here on the night team. It's the video that's been demanded by groups for more than a week. Today, Louisville Metro Police releasing that body camera video of an officer who discharged his weapon and hit 2 teenagers.
Baker, we got multiple people running.
Sergeant Dominguez, I just walked through this door.
You got one? Yeah, I got one. Just get him.
It happened on February 20th at this vacant lot on South 38th Street. Officers were investigating reports of a group of teenagers illegally entering a detached garage. LMPD said 2 officers on the scene drew their guns, not knowing what they'd be facing. That's when the garage door lifted and several teens ran out. At the time, one of the officers discharged 1 bullet, but police say they only learned of the injuries an hour later when 2 teenagers arrived at separate hospitals with conflicting stories denying any involvement at 38th Street. Investigators later determined that they were shot at the scene. LMPD says this remains a criminal and administrative investigation. The officer involved in this shooting, Brendan Kaiser, is currently on administrative leave as the investigation continues. Officer Kaiser has been involved in a civilian shooting before. In 2018, he was investigated for his use of deadly force after he shot and killed someone. LMPD later cleared him in that incident. Tomorrow, a news conference will be held from community advocates, hoping to get more answers as they talk about this shooting. In the Kentucky House, a bill to limit so-called gray machines has stalled. Supporters refer to the machines as legal skill machines, while others dub them as gray machines based on their murky legal status. The bill aimed at banning the gambling machines cleared a House committee yesterday, but today a motion to table the bill in the full House was approved. Republican Representative Stephen Doan proposing tabling the bill. He has a different measure to regulate and tax the machines instead of banning them.
I ask that this body join me in having an honest conversation on what regulating these machines looks like in Kentucky. Only one bill has been given the chance to move through the legislative process, but there is another way.
Tabling the bill has cast uncertainty over the issue, with 2/3 of this year's 30-day legislative session completed. Tonight, Louisville Metro Police honored several officers who have done exemplary work on the job here in Louisville. The Crown Plaza Hotel hosted the Louisville Metro Police Awards ceremony to help showcase the good work that police are doing in our city. LNPD's interim police chief, Jacqueline Gwynn Villaroel, handed out the awards recognizing community service, life-saving actions, and other acts. Organizers say it's important to highlight good officers in our community.
They need to know that they are appreciated. There's a lot of people that care about them. They know that we need them, and they are appreciated. They do a very tough job. They do a great job, and they spend a lot of hours away from their family, away from their friends, protecting our community.
This year's Officer of the Year was Damon Goldstein, and the Detective of the Year was given to Kendra McNally. The Civilian of the Year was Lau O'Reilly, and Sergeant Chris Lane received the Medal of Honor. Well, despite the storms, Louisville moved forward tonight, and it was a big cheers for first ever Bourbon Spelling Bee. We'll tell you about that when we come back. As the battery plant in Hardin County is getting national recognition today, the visit from the U.S. Transportation Secretary, and what the plant will mean for future generations.
Kentucky lottery number is 167 million for the Mega Millions, 161 million for the Kentucky Powerball.
The Kentucky Lottery, providing over $4.4 billion in grants and scholarships.
They say crunchy foods can maybe help you quit smoking. Says who? Start stopping with Nicorette.
Together, we've helped over 10 million pets find a loving home. Help us help millions more during National Adoption Week at your local PetSmart.
Look at all this nutritious yogurt. They've got sugar-free, no sugar added. Wait, how is that different?
You got this. For nutritious choices made simple, just follow the stars.
Welcome to Camping World Boot Camp, where you sons of boondoggles will train to become the leanest, cleanest pre-owned RVs on the planet.
Okay.
Let's get to work.
As part of the Camping World difference, every pre-owned RV is deep cleaned and odor neutralized. Gets a brand new mattress, and of course, the waste system is flushed and sanitized. Only then does it get his clean seal of approval. Shop the largest selection of pre-owned RVs in the country and experience the Camping World difference.
That's not me shopping at insurance.
The unexpected can happen to any of us. That's why SelectQuote makes it easy to get the life insurance coverage you need to protect your family for less than $1 a day. Now get up to a $2 million term life policy with no medical exam and same-day coverage. Make sure your family is protected from the unexpected.
Visit SelectQuote.com now. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Despite the storms, Louisville moved forward tonight, and it was a big cheers here for the first ever Bourbon Spelling Bee held at the Kentucky African American Heritage Center. I was thrilled to be asked to spell out the words for tonight's contest. A crowd of nearly 200 braved the high winds and made it out to support the group Educational Justice. They trained the brightest high schoolers to become tutors for underserved 5th to 8th grade students. The event emceed by drag show artist Cadillac Seville, a Nelson County native. More than $50,000 was raised tonight. The winner, Brian Harlow. One of the words tonight, Fahrenheit, fitting for tonight's weather. Well, today's Kentucky's electric battery plant project down in Hardin County of Glendale got a visit from the U.S. Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, touring the construction site, seeing major progress made in just a few months so far. Video from the sky showing the skeleton of what will be twin EV battery plants taking shape. One of the larger benefits of this nearly $6 billion project and its expected impact on the local economy, providing 5,000 jobs to young adults in Hardin County and neighboring areas. That includes being trained at on-site facilities, set to break ground later this year and open in 2024.
Because you grow up getting the message that the only way to prosper is to get out of the community that raised you and that shaped you. But not anymore. That's what this is about.
Blue Oval SK, the joint venture leading the project, says it's on schedule to open up one EV battery plant by 2025 and the other one by 2026. Kentuckiana, not the only area impacted by the severe weather system today. At least 7 tornadoes touching down in Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. Meantime, Michigan is watching the developing winter storm, while the West Coast is attempting to recover from historic snowfall. Here's ABC's Tim Pulliam.
Tonight, millions of people in the path of a powerful winter storm. The trail of destruction in the Deep South, now moving into the Northeast. Heavy rains and winds whipping places like Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia. Near Atlanta, a tornado warning.
I'm talking to you when I say you need to seek shelter and you need to do it now.
Dangerous weather also playing out across Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana. A confirmed tornado in Shreveport. 80-mile-per-hour gusts tossing tractor trailers like rag dolls near Dallas and flipping boats at this marina. In Michigan, a widespread ice storm downing trees, leaving thousands without power. This powerful system first hitting the West with record-breaking snowfall. In California's San Bernardino Mountains, aerials show neighbors pleading for help, literally writing it in the snow. Many of them trapped in their homes since last week.
These people up here, we don't have supplies to last 7 to 10 days, and we certainly don't have propane.
The National Guard and first responders working hard to clear paths for people like Danny Pritchard to get back up the mountain to check on his family.
Words don't even describe it. I mean, my wife is up there alone.
So far, authorities responding to more than 1,200 service calls and at least 17 rescues, removing enough snow to fill the Empire State Building twice. Winter storm warnings are in effect from Illinois to the northeast for heavy snow through Saturday morning. Tim Pulliam, ABC News, Los Angeles.
That same line of storms is what hit us right here at home in Kentucky and Indiana. Check this out from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Our affiliate WBKO sharing this photo of a White Castle sign that was blown over onto a car. 2 injuries were reported in that area. And it was a similar scene in the parking lot of GE's Appliance Park in Louisville, where winds tore down a light pole, crushing 2 cars. Luckily, nobody in the cars, nobody hurt at GE. John Gordon with the National Weather Service says winds of 70 to 80 miles per hour knocked down that power pole at the time. And in Spencer County, Kentucky, the high winds ripping the roof off this shed. For the latest on those winds, right now, we want to check in with meteorologist Matt Rudkin and the cleanup for tomorrow. What's it going to be like, Matt?
Absolutely. Yeah, what's crazy, put this in perspective a little bit, when the National Weather Service issues severe thunderstorm warnings, the criteria is wind gusts in the 55 to 60 mile an hour range. We had non-storm winds upwards of 80 miles an hour. It's like a Category 1 hurricane. That's remarkable. Max HD radar, obviously this is from earlier, from about lunchtime to about 4. These were the 2 waves of storms we saw come through. Gusty winds with these, obviously, but after these storms came through, it got even windier. Wanted to zoom out and show you the massive monster this Midwest and Great Lakes storm was, from severe weather here and parts of western Kentucky, Missouri, and Illinois to major snow on the other side of Indiana, and more storms tracking through parts of Ohio. Just a remarkable storm system. Locally, though, this one is one for the books. This is an incredible event. It was the 3rd highest wind gusts at Ali International since 1970 with 79 mile an hour gusts. As far as pressure goes, in the meteorology world, we pay real close attention to this. 977 millibars, and to put that into perspective, that is similar to a Category 1 hurricane. It was the lowest pressure recorded at Louisville International Airport on record. On top of all of that, prolific precipitation producers, right? It put down 2 to 3 inches of rain. That's almost a month's worth of rain in just one day. We weren't the only ones that saw that. I'll zoom into the metro. You can see here, again, 2 to 2.5 inches, pretty common across Jefferson County for this part of the storm system. So sunny weekend. Good news if you've got debris and damage you're cleaning up, the weather will cooperate. No active weather until mid next week. We've got several days. That's also great for our friends and colleagues that are helping restore power here. But there is a big shift coming mid-March. We are not done with winter, it doesn't look like, and these big ups and downs provide the opportunity here to see more storms. We were near 70 today. That was with a fuel for the storm system. We're down to 42 right now, closer to home. Lots of 40 showing up across the region. The cool spot looks to be Madison there in southern Indiana at 37 degrees. Futurecasts will look very good. Again, if you've got damage or you're out of power and you have a lot of cleaning up to do, this is really good. Lots of sunshine for our Saturday. May see a little morning fog, but warming up to about 60 or so. Mostly clear tomorrow night, and we'll keep the sun in the forecast as we head into Sunday as well. Here's a look, though, as we get towards mid-month, so about the next 10 to 15 days. Big chunk of cold air really looking likely as it spills into the plains and the Midwest here as we head towards the middle of the month. So again, don't put away the coats just yet. I don't think winter's done yet. Temperatures tonight, upper 30s to around 40. For your Saturday, looking pretty good. Temperatures upper 50s to around 60 or so. 7-day forecast showcases the warmer temperatures here in the upper 60s to lower to middle 70s. And what's most important here, notice no active weather, lots of quietness as we continue to clean up. Stay with us. Sports is next.
There's nothing like getting away from everyday life and doing something special. Explore your local fishery or plan an exciting adventure far, far away. It's all on fishingbooker.com.
Together, we've helped over 10 million pets find a loving home. Help us help millions more during National Adoption Week at your local PetSmart.
Okay, there's whole grain, multigrain, oh, sprouted grain. What happens when a sprout sprouts? Is a sprout more nutritious? It feels like I'm saying sprout too much.
You got this. For nutritious choices made simple, just follow the stars.
Look at all this nutritious yogurt. They've got sugar-free, no sugar added. Wait, how is that different?
You got this. For nutritious choices made simple, just follow the stars.
You want a micro compact, optics installed. You want high capacity and higher capacity. A smooth trigger with a clean grip. You want it Tooth Chocolate, the Kimber R7 Makeup. Feed your appetite for something different.
Boone's Butcher Shop has been serving the community for over 70 years because we live here just like you. Whatever challenges we face, we'll face them together. For our family, keeping your family fed is our business, today and tomorrow. Boone's Butcher Shop. Top quality meat is closer than you think.
WHAS 11 Sports is sponsored by attorney Alex R. White. Visit SueDistractedDriver.com.
Kentucky is a 5-point underdog tomorrow at Arkansas, and there is plenty to play for the Cats. SEC tournament seeding is at stake. A win, and the Cats are the 3 seed and earn a double bye. Depending on other games, a loss, Kentucky could still end up 3 seed or drop to the 5.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think our guys even pay attention to that. Just think that we just, like Cal said, you just go out and play. Don't worry about the score. If I was to go around the room and ask the guys, you know what this game means on Saturday, they'll probably say no. They just say, I know we lost on Wednesday night, and we're going to try to get one back.
Due to the weather, Louisville will not leave for Virginia until tomorrow morning, where the Cards will close out the regular season. Kenny Payne asked today, what are they still playing for? Payne says they're playing for momentum going into the ACC tournament. And what better way than to beat Virginia? Payne says with momentum, Louisville can surprise some teams next week.
I have to believe that. I'm not a coach or a person that if I don't believe it, I can't say it. I'm not that type of guy. I have to believe in what I'm doing. I have to believe that we're capable of doing this.
Louisville women's basketball team put it to Wake Forest 74-48 as the Cards were led by Haley Van Lith, who dropped 26 points. Next up for the Cards, a third shot at 10th-ranked Notre Dame tomorrow in the semifinals. Jeff Walz believes his team realizes exactly what time of year it is.
It's March now, and that's something that we've taken pride in here in this program, is the energy gets turned up. My intensity gets turned up. And our practices, it's like I say, the last few days, if I coach like that the entire year, I might not have anybody on the team.
The Kentucky women take it on Tennessee in the quarterfinals of the SEC tournament tonight. Cats down in the third, but looking to make a run. Jada Walker, the straightaway 3. It's now a 5-point game. Walker with 12. Now in the fourth quarter, a 7-point game. Robin Benton letting it fly. Lead down to 4. Benton with 20. However, a magical run comes to an end for Kentucky as the Cats season ends 80-71. Kentucky's Will Levis had his day in front of the media today at the NFL Combine up in Indianapolis, and he certainly made the rounds because Levis is projected to be one of the first quarterbacks taken in the draft. Levis will be one of the few top QBs who will throw at the Combine. When asked why he chose to do so, Levis says, because he's got a cannon.
Physically, I just say my arm talent. I think I got one of the stronger arms that's come out of any draft class in recent memory. And then just who I am as a person, kind of my morals, what I stand for, my values. And I think that's been the most kind of beneficial thing for me to be able to share with these coaches throughout these formal and informal interviews, to just get them to know me as a person, get them to kind of understand how seriously I take every aspect of my life, and just letting them know how much I love ball.
We'll be right back.
The unexpected can happen to any of us. That's why SelectQuote makes it easy to get the life insurance coverage you need to protect your family for less than $1 a day. Now get up to a $2 million term life policy with no medical exam and same-day coverage. Make sure your family is protected from the unexpected.
Visit SelectQuote.com now. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Okay, there's whole grain, multigrain, sprouted grain. What happens when a sprout sprouts? Is a sprout more nutritious? Feels like I'm saying sprout too much.
You got this. For nutritious choices made simple, just follow the stars.
Look at all this nutritious yogurt. They've got sugar-free, no sugar added. Wait, how is that different?
You got this. For nutritious choices made simple, just follow the stars.
If the pursuit of a flying quarry pumps through your veins like cold spring water, Kick's High Flyer Shotgun Choke should be your only choice. No matter which flying target you bear down on, it allows you to shoot any type of load and ensures a lethal and proper delivery to your target. Built with 17-4 stainless steel and exclusive diagonal ports to improve pattern density, Kick's High Flyer Shotgun Choke. Get on target.
Frisch's Stacked Fish Sandwich is back. Piled high with 2 pieces of crispy whitefish, lettuce, pickles, cheese, and of course our famous tartar sauce. Oh, the tartar sauce. Catch it before it's gone. Stop in or order online through Frisch's.com, DoorDash, or Uber Eats.
If you're looking for great local programming and more, you found it. Welcome to our streaming channel. Here you can catch up on all the latest news, weather, and sports you need. Countless hours of fresh, original content you can watch at any speed. To stay up to date on what's happening above you, around you, or around the world. Stay in the national know or binge watch your own backyard. Stream everything you love about local, plus so much more.
35,000. That is the average number of decisions a mom makes every single day. So we're here to help. Mom Squad, every week, right here on your streaming app.
Does leaving your faucet dripping in the winter really prevent pipes from bursting? What about closing the vents in unused rooms? Does that save you money? Or how about warming up your car in the winter? Ask any married couple and they will tell you they've argued about one of these. Well, today we're answering some of the most pressing questions about cold weather and setting the record straight once and for all. Our National Verify team helps us fact check. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jason Michael. First up, before heading to work or school, you've probably warmed up your car before driving off. But should you do that? Does warming up your vehicle beforehand cause any damages? The Verify team pops the hood to answer this question. Nobody enjoys driving in a freezing cold car, so it's understandable that many drivers like to let their cars warm up for a few minutes before hitting the road. Others are concerned about damaging their cars by driving with a cold engine. Some vehicles even have remote start features that make this easier, but one verified viewer reached out to ask if warming their car could actually damage their engine. So, let's verify. Our sources are the U.S. Department of Energy, Firestone Complete Auto Care, Smart Motors Toyota in Madison, Wisconsin, Chuck's Auto Repair in Seattle, and Napa Auto Parts. Gas-powered cars need oil to keep their engines lubricated. Chuck's Auto Repair explains when the engine is cold, gas may not evaporate completely as it combines with the air. This may lead to excess fuel in the chamber, which causes some of it to condense into the cylinder walls and strip away the lubricating oil. Our sources say this leads to more friction, which causes wear and tear and could eventually shorten the life of your engine. Instead, our sources recommend driving about 30 seconds after starting your car because the engine will warm up faster when the car is being driven. In the past, cars needed to warm up for several minutes to avoid stalling because they used a carburetor. Nearly all cars built in the last 30 years now use electronics to ensure engines get the right combination of air and fuel to run no matter what the temperature is outside. So, yes, warming your car could damage the engine. There is one exception. If you drive an electric vehicle, you may want to warm up your car before unplugging it because heating the cabin uses battery power, which can shorten your range. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.